Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Thacher E. Cleveland. I write things, I make stuff, a lot of which you can't really talk about on the internet, but it's right there behind me, right there behind me. I'm bad at the whole mirror image thing, but I don't have to worry about that, because we're just going to have a nice chat about some of my stuff. So yeah, this is you're on Splash Pages.
Is the one obvious thing.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name is Leon, monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you as always. And with us, Carrie, how's it going?
It's going great. I want to celebrate that this is Gratitosker's 2-year anniversary this week of being a podcast host. So he's getting drunk. He's got some Screwball peanut butter whiskey here. When he's out of that, we've got some butter pecan moonshine for him. So everything is Gratitosker sized. And we've got an awesome guest tonight. We're trying out a new segment tonight later on, so get ready for that. And we've got just a little bit of news. So go over and see how Drew's doing.
Woohoo! Mr. Drew. Oh, what do you got there? What do you got? What do you got?
Oh, God. Hang on a second. Happy November, everyone. Oh, no, that's good. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's cider with whiskey. So, hey, everybody. It's November, and you made it, which is great because I lost $5 to Carrie. No, but we're glad you're here. It's November, and it can't get any worse. No, I jest. So, yeah. So we're here. We have a wonderful guest. He grew up in Jersey and upstate New York, and he knows the difference. He's been in Ohio, Tennessee. He's currently in Chicago, with his lady, a cat, a greyhound, and I'm terrified to say a rambunctious whippet. He's written novels. He's written short stories. He's working on a book that, my God, you got to read it to believe it. Horror, sci-fi, fantasy. He's been a letterer, a designer, an actor, and a man after my heart. He's very tired, but yet he skipped his nap to come with us here tonight. Everybody, the one, the only Mr. Thacher E. Cleveland.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Woo. Thank you so much for having me. I was confused. I was like, who's this wonderful guest they're talking about? Oh, it's me.
Yeah,
It's
it's you.
me.
Of course,
Mhm.
it's
It
you.
was me. It was
course.
me
Yeah.
all along.
Yeah, no. Imposter syndrome is very natural here on Splash
Yeah.
Pages. So we have a lot, there's a lot of pep talks, a lot of comfort. Leo is very positive. Carrie
He
is very
definitely
dark.
gives that vibe,
Yeah, he's
and
very
he gives that
jolly.
vibe.
Carrie is very goth, and I'm just somehow here.
That's sometimes that's all you can do.
Indeed. I'm just somehow the glue holding these two weirdos together. So
Yeah,
I literally feel like the third reel in a Muppet balcony.
there you
But
go.
yeah, exactly. So thank you so much for coming on. And Tom Dog, what's up?
Tom Dog. Jar
Yo yo,
Jar.
and the jar. Oh man, what's going on, my man? Um, so Thatcher, so I have to ask, as always, is how did this start? Where did how do you? What's your comic origin story? If you had to say, like,
It's funny. I was, because I'm in the midst of massive self-promotion,
mhm.
I'm on literally every comic book group on Facebook, or if I'm not, I will be soon. Yes, I'm old. I still use Facebook.
Oh no, it's fine.
Uh,
It's fine. You and Carrie
yeah,
run in
there you
similar
go.
circles.
I feel
So
it. I feel it, But that was one of the questions that one of these groups asked, like, to make sure you're a human. But
right.
I am of an age where there was a thing called like a five and dime on a street corner when I lived
Mhm,
in when I was in my parents moved from New York City to
mhm,
the safe suburbs of New Jersey.
mhm.
So right around the corner by the train station, there was one of those, like you see it in, you know, old fashioned television,
Right.
with the whole, like the news racks,
Mhm.
candy, newspapers for everyone. And they had comics.
Right.
The old spinner
So
racks.
yeah, I don't know if they had the spin. They might have had a spinner rack, but I remember they had sort of like the waterfall shelving,
Mhm.
that like you put standard magazines in, and then the lower tier was comics.
Okay.
So yeah, like I just started, I think, picking those up, because they looked cool, and eventually, like I liked them enough, and this
Mhm.
always tickles me. I liked them enough that one day when I was sick home from school, my mom had to go to Tony's. Yep, it's it's in New Jersey, so it was called Tony's.
Of course.
Um, and she went over there and she got me a comic book. And it was like, and I had it to like for decades. I had it,
Okay.
but the comic itself is it's Batman 395,
Okay.
which is I don't know if we can pull up what the cover of that looks like to show,
Oh,
because I
yeah.
just realized
Well,
this is a visual joke.
well,
Um,
well, no, no. Don't underestimate Leo Pond.
okay,
He's very quick. He'll find
yeah,
things.
but
You
yeah,
know.
I think that was the first comic that I was like, huh, this is something, because it was a weird, like just before Crisis story, and it was
Oh.
the introduction of the villain, the Film Freak, which is a dude. Yeah, this was the cover. Like I'm sick. I'm like in first or second grade. I'm sick home from school. My mother is looking for something to cheer me up, and she's like, "You know what? This right here.
Good to,
This
good
is
to,
suitable for
that's
my
that's
young growing son."
yeah, that's good parenting right there. That's
Yeah, yeah. I'm still living through a lot of those decisions that they made. But
so
anyway, so yeah,
sorry.
so for the longest I used to co-own a comic shop when I lived in Ohio.
Oh
And we
wow.
actually we had that we had that issue like up behind the counter, and it was
Mhm.
like a thing, and I'm fairly certain it's still there. That was kind of the only way that I would have parted with it.
Right.
But
Did
yeah, so I mean, it's like I picked up that there was a ton of Marvel Age
right.
or Marvel Tales reprinting the early Lee Ditko Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
So I got super into that, and then
Mhm.
it just it just grew and grew. And then I was a teenager in the 90s, and there you go. If you're into comics, yeah. It's funny because it is. I mean, I guess 395 is technically a key issue of sorts. But yeah, I'm just like, it's funny too because it ends like the cliffhanger at the end of the issue is one of the reporters. It was the constant like reporter love interest lady.
Mhm.
So it was one of Batman's.
Vicky
And,
Vale, probably.
yeah, something like
Vale.
that. There you go. I couldn't remember the name, but so she's looking for evidence about who this film freak person is, and there's a storm, and she has to stay at a motel, and
Mhm.
the freak has followed her, and the last panel is an homage to Psycho.
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
Nice.
how would I know this as a first grader?
Right.
But it was one of those books that it's like I would pull out, and I was like, oh yeah, shit, this one with the film freak guy.
Mhm.
But yeah, so and then probably a lot of Star Wars comics too.
Oh wow, you're just well, okay, I have a few questions. First one is, did that comic behind it, did you guys have "This is what'll happen if you shoplift"? Because that's what I thought.
That I will. It's the shop is still open. I will call my buddy and say you should maybe add that to below the
Yeah,
site.
because I'm just thinking that, because I'm just imagining, and especially if you guys have like a fake gun too. Like I said, put it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a first printing killing joke. Put it back. Oh, you just forgot it was there. Yep. Shut the fuck up.
Now that I'm seeing it, maybe there's another reason why I reread this book a whole bunch. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But like it's a wild story. Like,
of course.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, you have a guy who is he's like a criminal who's creating chaos by recreating scenes and dialogue from old movies. I mean, Leo Carey, this is like my alternate origin story for a villain. Like, I feel like this is me.
There you go. It's like,
I got to be that girl and say, do you know what the most controversial scene from Psycho was, as far as like from the film board to get past that they had to do?
Oh, I'm sure it's him in the dress at the end. I feel like that would. No, okay.
It wasn't.
It's the weirdest thing ever. It was flushing the toilet. They showed the toilet being flushed, and that was it wasn't her in the shower. It wasn't him in the dress.
Yeah.
It wasn't any of the stabbing or the gory or the sex stuff. It was flushing a toilet. Had never been done before, and that was the biggest thing that they had to push to get through.
That is wild.
I'm sorry.
And they also stabbed.
Yeah, Carrie. No, you need to keep going, because I'm stuck.
Okay, he did his own Foley work as well, and so he just walked around and bought a bunch of different things at supermarkets, and they did the stabbing sound. They decided that is a cassava melon that you are hearing being stabbed. They tried a variety of various melons. And of course, we all know the chocolate syrup trick and stuff. But those are some of the things. And the way that he discovered how Mother was going to be was he kept hiding different versions of Mother around the set and waiting to see what made Janet Leigh freak out the most.
Huh.
So, yeah. So this, I had to study the film in a high school class. So we studied it very in depth. So it was just like,
and it stayed with you.
You gotta,
what else from? I don't know what else from high school would have stayed with me that long. Straight season.
Yeah. Well, thank God, Carrie. Thank God. Carrie, thank God you guys didn't watch Clockwork Orange in high school. I could see that. And it's funny because you reminded me of that, because I've seen the movie, but I never saw High Anxiety, which was Mel Brooks's parody of Hitchcock.
Mhm.
And I heard that when he showed Hitchcock loved it. And he was really afraid. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
parodying your work. Like you're the man." He said Hitchcock's only note was that when he did the psycho shower scene, that Mel Brooks's number of shower rings was wrong. It was 14 instead of the 12. He loved everything else. That was his only note. And I'm just like,
Wow.
and I'm like, if this was now, you would have 100% been categorized as autistic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, like
I
it was
mean,
just-
yeah, late diagnosed sitting over here, for sure.
right,
But
right. I was just like, I was like, wow.
yeah,
And
the fact that you would know that after, I mean, who knows how many years on it
right.
had been? Because, like, yeah, High Anxiety was maybe early 80s.
Yeah, it was early. It was definitely early 80s, I would say.
So
but it was
funny.
yeah,
funny.
absolutely. 'Cause I was just like, wow. Because you guys were talking about Psycho, and that just reminded me of that. So
Well,
fucking fun.
Hitchcock would have made a fabulous comic book writer, I believe, because he storyboarded every single bit of every scene. It was like you walk in, you take 4 steps, each of which are 6 inches long. Over here, you turn your head to the right, tilt it at a 45-degree angle, and stare at this mark on the wall, and then deliver your line. He picked actresses for how they looked because he didn't need them to act. He could make them do exactly what he wanted them to do. I mean, he said this is his thing. It was just like, I can make them get through the movie. I can make them do this. I pick them out because they look right for the part. So
Yeah. Tippi Hedren learned that one the hard way.
yeah, that was a little rough on her.
Yeah, it was
And Janet
very
Leigh
rough
never
on her.
showered again. But
Yeah.
let's get back into talking about Thatcher, because
I
Thatcher
mean,
writes
yeah.
horror too, and he's pretty damn good at it, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. On top of your comic, I did read Shadow of the Past, and I've started on some of the mysteries.
Oh.
And wow, Shadow of the Past. You guys, good horror. Yeah, make you go.
Thank you.
Oh, really? Wow, I would have never gone. Where did that come from? What place inside of you?
Yeah.
I will absolutely own the fact that Shadow of the Past is your sort of latte sipping basic bitch author self-insert of them at that time in their life, with some things changed. 100% own that. But like it's funny because I started writing it in high school.
Oh, wow.
And it took me, like, I published it in early 2011. And yeah, I'd been working on it for like over, almost 2 decades at that point.
Wow.
And working on it, is a very sort of subjective term, because there's some times where you're not.
Right.
I at one point, this always tickles me. I had the whole, like, what I had on it on a 3.5-inch floppy disk, and the floppy disk went bad, so I had to throw the whole thing away, which is a sentence a lot of young people would not necessarily understand.
Listen, when that happened, because that happened to me with the story, that is a heartbreaking loss.
Yeah. I shelved it. Yeah. I learned, I done learned the hard way. So yeah. And then it was just, I probably took a couple of years off, because that was also around the time my daughter was born. So I had some other stuff to do.
Yes. Sounds like it. Responsibilities there. Great power. Yep.
Yeah.
But okay, I have to ask this, because having read the Grim Reefer, why? And I mean that in not like a rude way. Like, just why? Like, what one day, what were you just listening to Blue Oyster Cult, and you were just like,
the funniest thing I would get asked a lot, because the first issue here, which you can read for free on globalcomics.com or their comic reading app.
Shameless plug.
It's been out. We did the first Kickstarter for it in 2021. So since then I've shopped it around at conventions and things like that. And I do get people asking me like, well, how high were you when you came up with this idea? I was 0 high.
Yes.
Believe it or not. I didn't even smoke at the time at all regularly.
Right.
And I realized as I was, as I've been, sort of talking to folks about this, that I'm pretty sure the inciting incident was me getting really high with a friend of mine a couple of nights ago who neglected to, and now I didn't smoke, and he neglected to tell me that what we were smoking was award-winning strain of weed. So it just annihilated me. And I think it's funny because I feel like, with any kind of drug, I guess there is sort of a sense of sometimes like dissociating from the self, or like looking at yourself from the outside. Like there's that sober person inside you that's like, whoa, maybe don't tell her. Okay, you told her that, but don't throw you threw the thing. Jesus, So like that's like there's that kind of level of it. And at the time I was working at a coffee roasting works. And now I figured that out now, Jeremy. So I'm not saying that my own comic was my own gateway drug into this drug, but maybe it was. I don't know. I'm a method writer. I've got to research things thoroughly. But no, I was working at a coffee roasting works, and I basically my job was I was running a weigh and fill machine where I would hit a pedal, machine dumps 5 pounds of bags into my weighting bag. I turn, I clamp it with the heat clamp. I, flip it, tape it, put it on a table. And I did that for like anywhere between 8 to 12 hours a day. Yeah. So there was a lot of time for introspection. And so, it was around like, so I had this event and I was just, thinking about, drugs and all that. And then it's just like, that's where the idea kind of like clicked. And I was like, yeah, I kind of like this. And I couldn't, and it took me a while. Like once I had the premise, it kind of took me a while to be, to be like, who makes the story interesting? Who is the best lens to tell this story through?
Right.
So hopefully I did that part okay. But yeah. And I can't take credit for the name. My buddy who I used to own the comic shop with, I posted like on Twitter or something, like, I'm thinking about doing a haunted marijuana story. What would you call it? And like 30 seconds, he's like, Grim Reefer. And I'm like, fuck you. That's
it. We're
brilliant. Yeah, exactly. 10 out of 10. No notes. Dismissed,
no notes.
Everybody.
Delete status. We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
We're good. No, there's no way someone's going to come something better. No pun. Like, good night. First, like Lego Batman, first try.
Yeah. The only slight problem, and I don't really think it's a problem yet. There is a wrestler whose name is Grim Reefer. And he does like, smoke joints in the ring and everything. And when I was doing the campaign for the first issue, like it come up that he had won like some sort of championship, and I like tagged him in a thing. It was like, hey, way to go, Grim Reefer. Like, let's support each other. And he like direct message was like, what the fuck? And I was just like, nothing the fuck. I don't know where he's here.
No, I do not. Listen, if you want to smoke together, I'm not getting in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I might for the story. If that's what it takes to get the Kickstarter to work, I will 100% wrestle and die to this man.
Please, can you let us know when that live stream is happening? Because we'll watch.
100%.
You mentioned the whole dissociative part of it. I totally get that because I don't really do anything. But Jar Jar in the comments here, he gave me butter one time to make brownies.
Oh no, not this story.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, not
Everyone's got a brownie story. I've got a brownie story too.
Is
but
it?
yeah.
Is it? Oh,
So-
okay. It's story time, kids. Leo first.
So I didn't realize you're not supposed to lick the spoon. Yeah.
You are such an idiot. I love you. You're such an idiot.
I was at a point where I would like live my life for like 10 seconds, go back in time, and then I'd be out of my body watching myself do what I was doing. It was the most fucked up thing ever. And then I had to do a show that night, and I was like, holy crap. Like I was not live, but I connected, and I had other people in the room and everything. And I'm like, did I tell them that we need to cancel? I don't know. Did I? It
Wow.
was so messed up. It was.
God.
Yeah. Never again.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, there's never again. It's just small doses.
Yeah.
Carrie, Carrie, I know you have a story.
Well, oh yeah, I have plenty of story. I think the best though is the first time that I got to meet all these guys. I went out to Connecticut for Terrificon, and we all got some brownies. And man down there ended up being my roommate. And so we're sitting there talking, and Jar didn't mention that, he's like, he smokes weed every day. He makes brownies that he could eat, like a pan of a day. The rest of us are like, and so like, we're like, okay, let's each have a brownie. And so we're having brownies, like little brownies, and sitting there talking to Drew and like, what? Yeah. It's going, oh yeah. What, Drew? Just like mid-sentence just stops and is out. Like out. So I took another one. It's just like, okay, I'll read on my Kindle for a little bit, do Wordle, And I don't ever get to smoke because I'm in Nebraska. So we just voted on it, like I just did, but we still can't legally have stuff in Nebraska. So I'm just like, I never get to have anything. And then I get out there, I'm like, you get it more frequently than I do. How come one knocks you out? And I'm like, two, just chilling, reading, doing my thing.
Right. Well, and then Carrie, you have to add that then the next morning I was like, it was the most, I was like, oh yeah, oh, that happened, that old chestnut. Oh boy. All right, well, let's get some breakfast. Okay. We're gonna continue our day. Like I was just like, it was like someone yanked the plug and I was out, and then someone plugged me back in. It was just like,
oh, if you want a life coach, he wakes up, he does stuff. I like when I sleep, I'm dead to the world. I was out, 10 hours. I don't function at all. I'm just locked. All of a sudden there's Carrie, wake up, time to get up. I got up at 5. I went down to the gym. I swam some laps in the pool. I've already had breakfast. I have your meds sitting here for you. I have a Coke Zero for you. I have some yogurt.
Wow.
I got a banana.
okay.
I'm just like,
okay, I need to stress that there's not that much singing. Okay. There was like 30% singing. She's making it sound like that I'm just a fuzzy, like a Robin Williams meets Mary Poppins. It's not accurate. Okay. And Carrie, okay, I play songs to wake you up, John Cusack style from Say Anything. Okay. And it's always a good song. It's never
I was talking about the first time, not the second time.
Oh no, the first time there was a lot of singing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was the first time. No, second time he wakes me up with music and I start signing in my sleep because I know the songs in sign language.
She did. It was amazing. Like I think I played War Pigs and she's just signing it. I'm like,
it was Mother by Danzig.
Oh yeah, no, right. You're right. It wasn't War Pigs. It was Mother. So I'm just Mother, and she's just like, I'm just like, are you awake? And she's just like, I'm just like, dear God. I was like, I have the greatest, weirdest roommate for this con ever. Well, I have one story that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was since Thatcher mentioned Kickstarter, I brought up the current Kickstarter, which is
Right.
So Thatcher, tell us about this. So it's for Grim Reefer
Leo,
1 and 2.
Leo, I can't even tell my damn. Everybody got to tell their story.
Okay,
Like this
fine. Tell
yeah, I mean, and I didn't get to hear his story. No, it's fine. Okay, hi everybody. No, take the spotlight off of me. You didn't get the spot. No. Back it up. Thank you. Okay, and then we got to hear his story, and then we'll get to the Kickstarter. Okay, so mine was very simple. I am very much a weeb, so I don't understand. So my instinct is usually it's in food, and since I am a little rotund, my first thing is, ooh, a brownie. That is dumb. Okay, because my thing is I'm essentially a flash, so my brain is moving so goddamn fast. I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling it. I need to have another one, and then that is how trouble starts.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. Is I had a roommate who made brownies for his girlfriend, and they smoked all the time, and the butter that they had was real heavy,
right?
And I was drinking beers, eating brownies, and then everyone goes to bed, and then I'm just like, what the fuck? If I don't maintain concentration on my heartbeat, it will stop. And then that pretty much lasted for like 12 hours. Yeah, it was brutal. But that's the problem with putting it in brownies, because brownies are fucking delicious.
They
I have no self-control.
There you go.
So I'm gonna eat a bunch of brownies. I will.
No, I'm the same way. So my problem is I discovered that being high, I got to that where you're floating. Like I always kind of describe it to somebody. It's when it hits me, I just feel like I'm falling backwards into a pool, and Summertime by Sublime is playing, and it's the beginning, and I'm just like floating. And so at one point I'm just laying on, I think like it's either my couch or my friend's bed. I'm still a little hazy on the details. And I'm just listening to ska music, and it's syncing up so well. And I'm just looking, and then she's got like stars projecting. And I'm just like, this is the most perfect moment in the day ever. Yeah. And I'm just like, it's just, everything is so perfect. And I'm just like, yeah, real big fish. You keep singing. Yeah. And then just like, it's just ska. And I'm just
real
like,
big fish. That's a deep cut.
There you go. See, but
what
that's
the fuck thing. Kind of weed are you getting?
Good
I'm
shit.
Like, that happened on shrooms once, but not on weed.
No, it's not. Listen, it wasn't even that. It was just, and Thatcher, was your roommate, is his name Jeremy Courtney? Because everything you're just describing sounded like our beloved Jar Jeremy. Yeah. There you go.
Everybody, if you know enough people that smoke weed, you are gonna find your Jeremy. Like, everyone's got a Jeremy, and they're out there pushing the envelope. They're showing up with like Bunsen burners and beakers, and they're like, we found a way to turn it into a mist that you spray into your eyeball, and then
listen, like, that man is like a weed Santa Claus. Okay, he just brings presents, and he does not disappoint. It's just like, and for you, it's like, oh my god, thank you, cannabis Santa. Like, it's just like, and you have it, and you're just like, oh boy. And then it's funny because every once in a while my enthusiasm has to be countered by these two, and they don't know it just as much as me, but I'm like, should I have this happen? And she said, you don't want to be doing interviews high. And they're like, I would love to see that. I think that would be hilarious, but we are professionals. And Leo just gives this look like, yeah, no. He's like, I would thoroughly love to see that, but we need to do interviews, and I need you at your A game. So after, yes. Carrie's like, after, you could do whatever. And I'm just like,
get the footage.
Okay, fine.
Jason Aaron, can I play with your beard?
It's a hell of a beard.
Doesn't work.
Like,
man, oh my god. Yeah, but
and he grooms himself very well.
Carrie, I'm sorry. We can all agree that while Jason Aaron is definitely in the top 5 beards, the beard of all time is always going to be the great Alan Moore. Because
Yes.
I am still convinced that some part of it is sentient. And it probably has eaten a critic or two. Because, my God, if he ever shaved, I would be like, I don't know who you are. More like Alan Less, because, you know, just you see him and you're just like,
Yeah.
no, I can believe you do magic. You literally look like you taught John Constantine everything he knows. Like, good
Yeah,
lord.
for real.
That is the goat of beards, in my
Yeah.
opinion, Alan Moore. So I feel like everyone here would agree. But Jason Aaron's is pretty majestic. Having met him in person, I was like, respect, Sensei. Leo, so I have to ask, because you mentioned robots at some point, Thatcher, in your intro, and because we talked about this a little bit before the show, I was like, what Borg collective shit is this? And then I know, because you and Leo share that you guys are huge Star Trek fans.
Yes.
And Leo Pond, I'm not meaning to put you on the spot, but you brought something up before the show that I think our viewers need to know. So I believe it was something about a Star Trek intervention.
Yeah, so back in the 90s, like I watched Next Generation, like, religiously.
Uh-huh.
And to the point where like I was getting all the books, the technical manuals, I knew where the bathroom was, it's like, yes, there's okay, if you're Worf and you're standing on the bridge, it's to the right and then you take a left. But then stuff like who the barber is on Enterprise D and stuff like that. So yeah, a friend of mine had to have an intervention, and it was I
Leo,
knew I was in too deep.
Leo, when you sat down, did you have to do it like Riker? You sweep the leg around and then clamp?
Yeah.
Because, did you make it so?
Yes,
Are
I
you,
did.
make it so? No, I'm sorry, Leo. That is the greatest and saddest thing I think I've heard you say. And we've been through a lot, buddy. And
Yeah,
I don't think our guest, has that.
yeah,
But
no, but and that's
I
something
mean,
yeah.
I
Go for it.
definitely went through a phase of just massive hyperfixation on they had just released like the paperback like Star Trek encyclopedia
Yep.
Mhm.
that covered up to like maybe I feel like it was all like the first one only had like 2 or 3 seasons of Deep Space Nine, and then they did an
Mhm.
Yeah.
updated one that had the rest of it and like the first part of Voyager. Like I
Mhm.
was reading that shit cover to cover. Like I was reading it like, it was assigned to me in college. And I was, like it was unreal. The fact
Right.
that no one in my life, like I could have used an intervention. But it was one of those things that was like 3 months worth, and then I'm done. And it just keeps on. But it's like the knowledge stay. I mean, and I love Star Trek before, love it now. I'm so
Mhm.
glad that for the most part we have it back.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
What are you watching now?
um, I mean Lower Decks. Obviously, I love
Yep.
Lower Decks. Beckett Mariner is probably one of the best characters that's been created possibly since Next Generation. I would love to see, a whole like because we know the lower decks is set, just a little bit after Voyager comes back. So we've got like this whole span of time where we can do animated stuff and comic books and whatnot. So yeah, a lot. I'm watching a lot of Star Trek because I'm like, man, I got to get that announcement for Star Trek Legacy. Paramount, get your shit right.
Oh, boy.
Find some pennies in the couch and get us that Star Trek Legacy.
Did you watch Discovery, or are you watching Strange New Worlds?
Yes, I watched Discovery. Strange New Worlds I love.
Yeah.
It is so good. The first episode in particular is it's like the best argument for just Star Trek in general. Like, it was the perfect modern thing to come out and say, okay, yeah, we did the J.J. Abrams thing. We did all that stuff. You know, those guys are cool. But this, like Star Trek on television, this is what that's about.
Yep.
And, you know, they fucking nailed it. And yes, Deep Space Nine is awesome. It is definitely one of my most favorite. I used to tape on VCR cassettes episodes of Deep Space Nine. Yeah. Again, ancient. I feel like the goddamn crypt keeper.
First things first, we've met the crypt keeper. You're fine. Second thing, so speaking of, because I'm sorry, me and Carrie were just kind of sitting here watching. I was like, isn't it cute? Leo made a friend. Just sitting here supervising. Like,
Yeah.
one of those where I was like, Carrie, do we still do the show? Do we just let them? You know, I was like, we're gonna go. Well, you know, just I was like,
before you do,
all right, cool. Exactly. I was like, okay, we're gonna go. You know,
just real quick, what did you think of the singing episode for Strange New Worlds?
I'm a guy who in middle school was in my bedroom with the door closed singing Phantom of the Opera, and I'm not a good singer. I don't know. Again, like, I don't know what my parents were just like out, and we had a small apartment. This was not a house. We're talking 1,000 square feet, maybe.
Right. They can hear everything.
Yeah. The fact that, you know, they were just like, whatever, man. Jesus. What the hell kind of kid did we get?
Yeah, listen, Phantom.
But yeah, no. So I love, like, I love musical theater. Musical episodes are hard to pull off. I think they did a pretty good job.
Okay,
because, like, you know, you don't want to end up in like cop rock territory.
Yeah, the Klingons though. Oh my god, that's freaking hilarious.
So do either of you speak Klingon?
No, I do not. I can't.
Leo might. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you know, but I feel like if Leo, please don't, because then that just gets into some weird Big Bang level thing. So, you know, none of
it's
that.
It's like really cute, Leo, and just like Leo like vomits something on the microphone.
Yeah,
I said hello. Like, have a nice fucking day.
I just know one phrase. It was "mitak mushkabul," which is something about chocolate.
No. I know what that is. It's Klingon for "get out." But before we segue back to the book, I do have to ask both of you, because you're big Star Trek fans, how do we feel about Galaxy Quest?
Oh, the Tim Allen movie?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I dig it. It's one of those things, like, you look at who was in it, and it's like, yeah, how could this not have been good? Because it was Tony Shalhoub, like, pre-Monk, like, and you can, like, you see it in that movie. Like, yeah, this guy's got fucking chops. Like, he is. Yeah, you know, like, just tons of people.
Yeah. You know,
but yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Well, the main reason I ask is because it's essentially an homage and a parody of Star Trek. You know,
yeah.
I mean, they do not apologize from it. I mean, so many things in it were taken, like even the scene where Tim Allen's character's in the bathroom, and then the people are coming back and they're making fun of everybody. That actually happened to William Shatner, you know, which I'm like, yeah, that was wonderful. They clearly dented his ego. No, it's just, like I said, it's funny because I feel like you would think, oh, this is kind of poking fun at Star Trek, but everybody loved it. And it's just, I think, like, it's funny because I was part of a Trekkie group once, and they were asking, what's your favorite Star Trek? I was like, oh, Galaxy Quest. And they all got like the biggest laugh. Because, like, I was like, tell me that's not a Star Trek movie. Yeah. Tell me that's not, like, I gave him a look like, look me in the eye and tell me.
You know it. They were telling us to just imagine the original series cast in these roles, you know, just
100%
drop them in.
Absolutely.
Just Real quick, Thatcher, just want to share a quick story.
Go for it.
Back in the 90s, 30th anniversary of Star Trek, or 25th.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Man.
I went to a convention with James Doohan, and
wow.
Whoa.
well, it was all four. It was Nichelle Nichols, James Doohan, George Takei, and Walter Koenig. And
Okay.
James Doohan disappeared for a couple sessions and then came back utterly smashed. He talked so much shit about Shatner, and then
That's amazing.
he ended up singing Yiddish mining songs. It was the best panel I've ever saw.
God, to go back in time and film that on a smartphone, holy shit, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. That's comedy gold.
Before smartphones, so it was
yeah.
I
got you. I got you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I cannot. No. Leo, thank you. That is. I'm going to tell my father about that, as that's the Trekkie who introduced me. Or yeah, Leo, write that one down. I've seen your memory. Please write that down. So back to the book. So someone, Carrie, please take this one. I feel like I've talked so much. I'm tired. I'm like his
Leo, push the button. There we go.
Yeah. So tell us about the Kickstarter.
So we are, like I said, we did a Kickstarter for the first issue in 2021 when everyone was, flush with that post-pandemic cash. So it worked out pretty well. And basically the elevator pitch is a crop of marijuana grown on the spot where a violent killer is killed, has been, killed, and anyone who smokes it gets possessed by his ghost, and then he uses it to, uses their body to revenge on the people that he feels have wronged him. But he's a psychopath and an asshole, so it is what it is. But now we are trying to get the second issue made. So the second issue, we're kind of raising the stakes a little bit. But fingers crossed. We haven't had as strong a start as I would like, but I feel like there's still time. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't say this often, but I feel like I have something really good on my hands. And, that's one of the reasons why I'm like, go read it for free on Global Comics, because it's there. I feel like, I think that, the premise is sharp. And then I feel like the execution does it pretty well. So, and it's just, it's a matter of eyeballs, getting eyeballs on them. So.
Fair enough.
And I just shared the link through all of our pages. So
thank you.
If anybody wants the link, go, and it should also be in the show notes. And I love that sculpture.
Yes. Leo, my buddy, Viet Huynh,
that's so cool.
He has a 3D printer, and he does, he's been doing custom toys and action figures for forever. And he, modded, we found a regular Grim Reaper. By the way, it's become almost impossible for me to say Grim Reaper without really concentrating on the Reaper part. Like I may have just damaged myself forever with this one. But so like he, modded it out, and he made the, the smoke sickle, and he put the bong in his hand. We did, did the base and touched up some other stuff too. So, we've got about like 10, and the artwork, I feel bad. I have not mentioned my art team yet because they draw the hell out of this book. Claudio Munoz, who is the artist, and Cote Carvajal, who is the colorist, they turned in some awesome stuff, and they're both from Chile. They've been working So one of the things, like, if you think this looks good now, they've had like 3 years to get better. So I am very excited to see them bring the rest of this together. Because he does great. Like, one of the things I love about his work is he gets a lot of good acting on expressions and things like that, which is I think really important, especially if you are doing a comic book that's not necessarily like superhero or powers or effects based.
Well, I was going to bring that up because there was one scene when they're at the diner, like, they're not saying much in this panel here, but you could tell like they know he did it. He was the driver.
That's one of those pages where like I got it in and I was like, fuck, he nailed it. I was so pleased that he was able to, because I put it, it's in the script. He's like, he's giving him the side eye. He knows that, they all know that Marty's involved, but they're kind of cutting him some slack because he's just an early 20-something dipshit. And now he's trying to get his life back together. And unfortunately for him, that means he can't get high, which is his, chosen antidepressant, because he's, trying to pass a piss test. So sort of like that kind of saves him initially from getting possessed by Grant, his second cousin, who, bullied him into being the driver on his, gas station liquor store robbery.
It was that kind of reminded me of this scene in which one of the Avengers movies was it? Where it was like, he's your brother, he's adopted, but it was like, your cousin, you're my second cousin.
Yeah.
The first
it
one.
It is very important for Marty that the distinction is made that he is his second cousin. Because he does, they're not on good terms. Especially now that he's dead.
Yes. Poor Marty.
Yeah. I can't wait to see where this goes though, because like I'm assuming that we're gonna have more than I mean spoilers, I guess, maybe, but that there's gonna be more than one person who smokes this strain. So we get to see like, oh, this poor guy is going through this, but it's just like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. I've had one person at a show ask me this, and I was like, that's the stomping on the head page. That is quite possibly my favorite visual creation of something that I've written. Like, I was just like, oh yes, that is exactly what I wanted, but didn't know that was what I wanted because I'm not a good drawer. I have just enough like visual sensibilities to get myself in trouble and think like I know what I'm talking about. And then like real visual artists come along and they're like, okay, we do this instead. It's like, oh yes, you know what you're doing.
Yes.
The lettering motion through that is gorgeous too.
Oh,
Just
cool.
the
I'll take credit for that. I took a class.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's well anyway, yeah, I had someone ask me, they're like, well, what happens if more than one person smokes it at a time? And I was like, correct. So that's definitely I've probably given the mythology of how this works way too much thought. But the proof will be in the pudding, I guess.
Lore is important. You got to have that Bible and get it going. And it seems like he learned all this stuff from being inside that guy's head. He not only kept himself, but he was like, oh, well, he knew where you lived, so ha. Now I do too.
Yeah. And that, and that will continue to make things very difficult for everyone involved. I will also give I'll even give another slight spoiler. Grant's ghost will remember what he did in Jake's body when he is possessing someone else later down the line.
Oh no.
So yeah, so it's not like a Groundhog Day situation where it's like every time he smokes, he's like, oh hey, I'm back. He's like, oh, you fucking killed that guy. That's all right. I got a bigger, tougher guy now who knows a lot more ways to hurt you.
Okay, now
so,
I
yeah.
want a 5-year-old girl picking up a brownie that she saw somewhere. That was horrible of me, but it's just like
You
Yeah,
are,
yeah.
Carrie. Man, those antibiotics,
You
man,
s-
they're
yeah,
messing you up.
you said dark, but good Lord, woman.
Yeah, listen, Carrie does her best, but because you were saying that, and I just kept thinking Back to the Future was like, my calculations are correct. And the thing ain't 88 miles an hour. You're gonna see some serious shit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh boy, Doc, you know.
I forgot what town it was, but it's somewhere in. I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in Connecticut. Just like the other week, had to apologize because they accidentally sent out a THC laced pizza.
That
Feel free to use that.
Yeah, like that's we're kickstarting issue 2. I'm already banding about ideas for a sequel because that's the kind of person that I am.
you gotta always plan for sequel, man.
Okay.
That's just good marketing.
I am very, it's
mean,
funny you talk about like you mentioned like notebooks and lore. I have like 3 dot journals with 5 different colors of ink in each one, and each color represents a different story or idea that I'm working on. My partner thinks I'm nuts, but this is what she signed up for. So
I say
she understands because she gave me hard to find colored pens of my favorite brand of pen. So
nice.
Don't worry. I say the same thing to my partner. Like, you knew what you were signing up for.
Yeah.
Like there were so many outs, but you stayed. So it is what it is.
Now, have you been bringing us around to cannabis conventions?
I haven't done any of the cannabis shows yet. I will say, in all seriousness, like as fun as doing a book and being like in that because there's a huge intersection between cannabis use and like horror culture. And I think that's one of the things that people relate to with it. I've taken it to horror conventions, and obviously stoned people love my book, and I appreciate that. But yeah, it would be I've tried going into some cannabis spaces because I live in Chicago. We have a lot of dispensaries. They're too expensive. But so many of them are kind of corporate or chain owned that there is like you get into like a weird level of bureaucracy where it's like, yeah, we can't hang anything up without like and it's not necessarily because the company is being an asshole, but it's because the cannabis industry itself is under such a microscope when it comes to like banks and credit card transactions and things like that. Like the place that I go to just up my street, I used to be able to use my debit card to make my purchases, and then they changed I guess like Visa changed something, and now like my card won't even register. Like I have to go like they're like, we've got an ATM, like so like that's the level that you've kind of got like both of these sides. And like here I am with a comic book like, hey, let me, it's about weed, but it's also about murder, and we're kind of okay with that, right? Like even today, like I went to do a TikTok live, and I was like less than 2 minutes in before they're like, you've been flagged for drug use. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah.
All out, man.
Yeah. It's rough because and honestly too, like I think there's probably an aspect of cannabis culture that takes itself also a little too seriously and doesn't necessarily want to like participate in something like this, which is totally fine. That's totally their prerogative. So yeah, like finding places to get this in front of people has been really challenging. Like it's been more challenging than I thought, and I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, well, I mean, if it was just about murder, you guys would be fine with it, wouldn't you? And I mean, they would, except for TikTok. TikTok's insane. But
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, I'm going to I'm still trying to get out to dispensaries locally. But yeah, it's tough breaking into cannabis spaces.
Oh, well,
You should introduce him to Ben and Jeff and see how that goes.
seriously. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
and-
the Token with the Dead guys are on our network. And,
Okay, no, absolutely.
Yep, Token with the Dead. Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Guys.
So
And to answer the question about minions, not yet. That's a good
Can
idea.
have like little Skunky the Bud comes running up, or
I love
maybe Sparky.
My friend Alex, she made the Grim Reefer, our Grim Reefer logo, with like, and I was like, yeah, it's a Reaper, but he's do a thing, and she knocked it out of the park, and so I love our little mascot guy. For the first campaign, we actually did and I just realized I have one here on my desk. Viet did a custom pop figure.
Oh, that's
hard to see.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and our friend Christine Brunson, she did the custom box for it. So yeah, I've got him in here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we moved a lot of units on that. That was one of the things I think that really helped move the needle on the first campaign too. So
totally.
I was looking, that was the one add-on I was sad wasn't on there, because I pledged a little bit ago, and you can't order just the Reaper figure as an add-on.
Yeah, we might, if we sell more of those, we might open it up to another. I mean, it's, Viet is like hand painting all of these. And so he was very much like, I don't, and I was like, can we do 15? He was like, let's just start at 10, and
Gotcha.
really, the optics of making my Asian friend slave away making toys for me in a poorly venerated 3D printed room. Like, that's not great. That's not really what I want my brand to be associated with.
Yeah. I've seen other ones where they don't sell them painted, so it was just like, you get it and you do it at home. So I didn't realize that he was hand painting. That's awesome.
Yeah. He is. He will be at Motor City Comic Con, which I think is this coming weekend. So when he comes back from that, he is going to get one printed up and painted, so we'll be able to be like, hey, this is what it's going to look like.
Okay.
So I'm excited for when we get to see that.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm just staring at it right now. It's 3D print's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He was getting drunk. Pretty toy. Must have toy. Gotta get the toy. I can get the toy.
It is a modified Dementor, Harry Potter Dementor figure.
Nice. Okay.
Modified with the whatever they modify toys with. I do words.
Yep.
I don't
Blender is one of the popular ones.
Yeah.
They modified a model and then they can print it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't Blender.
I've been trying to convince my wife we need a 3D printer.
The darkening as a whole, as a network, needs a giant house and an industrial 3D printer. so that we can all have all the things we need.
Yeah.
Or a print farm.
That would work.
Yep.
I would live there.
Yep.
I have nothing better to do. I write books. I just. Speaking of that, do you have anything else coming up in the book world? Or prose book, that is.
I just released. You mentioned Shadow of the Past earlier. Thank you for that. You said you mentioned the short stories. That is my urban horror series, the Winston and Churchill case files. I have that first Winston and Churchill trilogy. And then because I'm a very smart man who does very smart things, I published a short novel called The Shadow of Victory, which is not only the sequel to Shadow of the Past 10 years down the road, but it is also the fourth Winston and Churchill book, because, you know, you got to have that shared universe thing again with the notebooks, the world building. It's a problem. I realize it. But yeah, so like that just came out in August. And it is available for order from any of your local bookstores, even Jeff Bezos's,
right.
if you want to do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm following you there.
good. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do. I have a couple of prose ideas. I don't. It is hard for me to stick with projects. You know, the whole ADHD, neurospicy. Like I kind of do jump around a lot, and I've learned to kind of lean into the skid of sorts. So I'm just kind of going where my happy little storytelling brain is telling me to go. But I'm in the process of plotting out a sci-fi cosmic horror novel, because I like that a lot. I love, obviously I love space opera, and then like throwing in like weird cosmic horror monsters. I'm like, again, I feel like that's chocolate and peanut butter. And then I also have another novel that I'm kind of working on outlining, and it is essentially a Ted Lasso-esque book about a professional wrestling company.
Amazing.
So
nice. We'll
see how that, because I'm also I'm very much into the pro wrestling as well. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm the way sort of my wheel turns, I kind of like go knock a little bit up on that, go knock a little bit up on this one. So I end up like, I've got a web comic that I'm, that's in this kind of horror universe of mine, that I'd like to do. Again, it kind of crosses over with the Winston and Churchill stuff. Like one of the characters from that series ends up in the comic. I've got, and obviously like the next Winston and Churchill story, which I think are now going to mostly be short novels. They might end up being like longer at some point in the future. But given how, like, the amount of time, I definitely have that time blindness that they talk about. So like, I'm always like, yeah, I can do this book like this, like I'll do it in like a month and a half. And then it's like, no, you're not going to fucking write a book in a month and a half, you psychopath. Like you have to, how this works. So yeah, I hope I will at least have another, Winston and Churchill book done next year, and hopefully a lot of progress on either one of those two books. I kind of feel like I need to pick a lane, so we shall see.
You're doing great, buddy.
Yeah,
and
if you
it was not, bro. But I'm gonna have to go back and check that out and make sure they can't sue me.
That's a fair question.
Good call, Tom Dog.
Nice one,
Yeah.
Tom. Yeah.
Well, just real quick with the web comic, once you start working on that, take a look at Reddit. There's a really good comics community, and
yeah, I'm trying to make inroads there too.
yeah, it's very tough with Reddit, but once you do, it's you're like golden. But it's yeah, they can definitely sniff out, like scam artists and people just trying to shill their stuff.
I would be I actually Reddit was where I found the two guys who did the variant covers that we have for this campaign. Nate Walkington, actually he's a guy I knew from before, and I was like, hey, remember when I asked you to do a thing like a year and a half ago and I couldn't pay you? I can pay you now. And then Ray Dillon, who I was surprised to see him show up like in the thread being like, holy shit, this looks great, I'm in. So that was a real treat. He did that. It's like an homage poster of like the flaming skull with the joint coming out. It's actually there was an old anti-marijuana poster that is kind of like that. And I love me a good homage. So
nice. Well, that's because we're coming up on that time, but thank you so much for joining us. This was absolutely fantastic, and thank you so much for the time. And before you go, what are the best ways that anybody can get in touch with you, social media, that kind of thing?
I feel like I'm on all of them now, which is terrible for my mental health, but I'm at Demon Weasel on most of those, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter. I'm not calling it that. And Twitter, I'm only using, guilty. I'm only using it to push my Kickstarter right now. And I'll go back to ignoring it when the campaign's over. Yeah, I'm on there. I'm Demon Weasel Studios on TikTok. My website is demonweasel.com. So branding. So yeah, pretty much anything Demon Weasel. I'm Demon Weasel TEC on Reddit because someone either stole it for me or I got the handle years ago and forgot the password or whatever, and it's just lost to the ages. I secretly think that every time I go to a new platform or a platform that's been existing, and I'm like, all right, is Demon Weasel available? It's not. Have I been here before? Because who the hell else would come up with that? So yeah, that's I'm on Substack now. I have a Patreon. So yeah, I'm everywhere. I am jacked in.
You're good to go.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, right. Yeah, we got a lot of those links in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Thacher, it was awesome having you this evening, and definitely we're going to look forward to see how you do on your Kickstarter, and definitely love to talk to you again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. This was a blast, you guys. And yeah, get the word out. This is the only way that we're going to be able to make more of these. And if it doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm not trying to guilt you into pledging, but I'm just saying that's the only way it exists.
Pledge. Yeah, you should pledge. It is good. Get a shirt too while you're at it.
Yep.
Totally.
This very shirt right here.
Oh wow!
Right there.
Yeah, and a 3D print.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, all this could be yours.
All the light touches is your kingdom. What about that? We don't talk about there. So, all right. Well, thank you so much coming on again, man. And like I said, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Keep writing and just really just pace yourself. Build the tolerance.
Yeah, it's this has been a good year for me. So I'm hoping that next year is an even better one. So fingers crossed.
We got your back, man.
I appreciate it.
Cool.
Finger gun.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Right, Leo. Do the thing.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say, when you're ready, there's a leave studio button on the bottom, and like I mentioned earlier, just wait. It'll bring you to an uploads page, and if you would just let that finish upload.
Run 100.
Cool beans.
Okie. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fox.
Thank you.
It was awesome. Take care.
Take
You
care.
too. Bye.
Good night.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very
We're
cool.
going to be back in 30 seconds.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
That's
And
a
we're
short
back.
30 seconds.
Yeah, indeed.
It
So-
was 31 seconds. Sorry.
All right. Well, next time, see, our budget can accommodate 32. Okay. God. All right. Well, I mean, Carrie pointed out there's really not a lot of news, so let's just blow this thing and go home.
Sounds good. And then stay up late watching to see who
Nope.
wins this.
Nope.
Nope, not going to talk about it.
Nope. We're going straight to
gonna-
sleep. Well, maintain
we're
the
gonna read
course.
comics.
Carrie, we're going to maintain the course. Course.
Well,
Um.
I'm gonna pour a little more.
Yeah. But actually, you know what, Leo? It is good to pour a little bit more because I definitely think we got to bring up that we had a death in the community. I think we got to bring that up.
Okay, you want to do that now or after Variant Watch?
We'll do that now.
Okay.
And then we'll remember, and then we'll talk about the news. Channel the joy. So let me know when you're ready, Mr. Pond, sir.
Yeah, hold on. I brought up Variant Watch first. You messing up my chi, man.
No. In the beginning of the show, we said we were going to do that first.
But I
then
put
Variant
it
Watch.
in the news. I thought you meant first in the news, so that's where I put it. So
I took that.
it's on me.
All right. Okay. So, everybody, if you hadn't heard already, the late great Greg Hildebrand passed away on October 31st. He was 85. This news was confirmed by his wife and fellow artist Eugene Scoracco on social media at about 12:36 p.m. Greg passed away. He was 85. He had been suffering complications due to a serious side effect of a heart medication. He'd been trying to regain the ability to breathe for 5 months, and then unfortunately, the journey ended. Apparently, according to his wife, it was a very peaceful passing. Yeah, and it's very sad. You see him here with his brother, Tim Hildebrand, who passed away at 67 on June 11th, 2006. Man was born 1939. The brothers were known as the brothers Hildebrand, who, I mean, God, for a while, this power duo worked on some of the biggest pop art ever made. So one of the biggest ones is one Leo is very aware of. It's the Style B poster painting for Star Wars: A New Hope. So that's the one with Luke Skywalker holding the lightsaber over his head with the other characters, including Princess Leia in the front and the giant visage of Darth Vader. They did that without any access to the film stills, publicity photos, and a very tight deadline. They did that in 36 hours, and Greg's first wife, Diana Stankowski, was the model for Princess Leia. So apparently, according to them, the only note George Lucas said was, add the droids, make your signature bigger. That's it. I was like, wow. And Carrie, they also did the Tolkien Lord of the Rings trilogy calendars from Ballantine Books in 1976 to 1978. So,
Very cool.
indeed. So they did that, Star Wars, and then they also did the poster for Ray Harryhausen's Clash of the Titans in 1981. That was the last work that they both did together, and then the brothers went their separate ways, like Journey would say. Yeah, Greg illustrated his own book in 1984. It was Greg Hilbrandt's favorite fairy tales. Did cover artwork for heavy metal. Illustrated Wizard of Oz, Aladdin, Robin Hood, Edgar Allan Poe, Peter Pan, like the works. In 1999, he did a series of 1940s, 1950s style pinup paintings. Kind of think women in retro clothes and backgrounds that he called American Beauties. He also did a lot of cover work. For primarily, a lot of it was for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He did a lot of work for them. But he also did, is it a Black Sabbath?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, but he did a Black Sabbath cover. I had it right here. I'm just like, where? Dang, my research.
It's okay.
It's okay. I'm trying, Carrie. I'm doing my best. Trying so hard, and in the end, it didn't matter. But he didn't do that cover. And then we also know him because after a decade of working independently, Greg would reunite with his brother in the
Black Sabbath.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's Moody Dews, I believe it was, something like that. I don't know. I know it started Moody. But I tried, everybody. I really did. But as I was saying, the brothers Hildebrandt reunited and created the 158 card Marvel Masterpieces set in 1994. Which
Mob
had
Rules, by the way.
What?
Mob Rules was the Black Sabbath.
Oh, Mob Rules. Thank you.
Yep.
The Marvel Masterpiece set in 1994, and they continue to work together until Tim's death in 2006. Apparently, he was also one of his biggest fans was Michael Jackson. Apparently, the late great Greg spent 2 weeks with the singer at Neverland Ranch. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. He did cover work for Star Trek. He did his last work was which was a commercial painting, is going to be published in the program for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra's upcoming winter tour. He was their exclusive artist for album covers, tour programs, and merchandise since 2003. He is survived by his wife, 2 daughters, and a son from his first marriage to his Diana Zinkowski. And yeah, I actually had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of years ago. Super nice guy, like such a pleasant dude, and he will be missed. He will be missed. Oh, I also forgot he did work on Magic the Gathering. I'm sorry, Carrie. So it's a real loss, Leo.
Yeah, it is. His artwork is just friggin' amazing. Actually,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Both of them, both him and both of them, absolutely amazing. So, but yeah, so I apologize. I know it was a little bit of a somber, but we got to pay tribute to the greats.
totally.
But now we can do Variant Watch.
You sure?
I'm fairly positive. I'm ready now.
Okay.
Okay, Variant Watch. So starting up, classic Marvel covers. So artist Todd Nanook has drawn nearly every Marvel icon there is. Now, with his new series, you can see his takes on all these Marvel heroes and villains with iconic variant covers. So this is going to begin January 2025, And you're going to see these on various Marvel comic releases throughout the year. So these covers, think, Leo, inspired by like Todd McFarlane's Amazing Spider-Man 301 cover. So think full body shots, Iron Man, Hulk, Daredevil, Phoenix, so much more. Just fan favorite images. The Daredevil one is one of my favorites. So starting with January, we're going to have the Avengers. We're going to have Incredible Hulk, Spider-Boy, Eddie Brock as Carnage, Daredevil, Spider-Gwen, Phoenix, West Coast Avengers, and so many more. Todd's style very much has that kind of 90s feel to it, but he's worked on both stuff for both Marvel and DC. I got the chance to meet him. He's a superb artist. And, these look fantastic. It's just, the detail is just absolutely amazing. The Daredevil one, I will say, is my favorite. So
yeah, I'm not loving the Iron Man one. Daredevil is definitely awesome. The Hulk and
the Phoenix one is pretty cool too.
Yeah. Phoenix is that's pretty badass too.
But and all the other ones are just as good.
Yeah, they're all good. But the
Carnage one. Yeah, look at that. Hey, Gary.
And I get what you're saying. Spider-Man 30, the McFarlane 301.
Yeah, it's his 301. So it's about full body shots.
Yep.
It's funny because that came after he did an Amazing Spider-Man 301 Todd McFarlane homage retail variant cover for Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 25.
Oh yeah.
So Marvel was like, "Oh, hey, do you want to do this?" So, again, it's character, white background, circle element beyond. Mm-hmm. So it's just each one is a different pose because it's not, "Hey, we're just going to rip off McFarlane." But it looks great. So these are going to be scattered throughout. So some of them you'll see in January, some will be in February, and then the others will later on come on throughout the year. So pretty fucking cool.
Very cool.
All right. So the next one is a fan favorite for all of you witches out there.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
Yeah, we'll get there. So, as we saw that the Scarlet Witch issue 6 Marvel variant cover was spotlighting Catherine Hahn's Agatha Harkness. Issue 7's variant cover is the fan favorite Audrey Plaza's Rio. So, as we've already seen, the series has come to an end, and what an ending it was. Down the Witch's Road. This cover, I fairly can see being very popular. This will be available. This is issue 7. So I would say probably, if not December this year, probably January, February next year. Looks pretty freaking cool there. And again, Audrey Plaza, always a delight.
Yeah, her and Agatha. Oh my god, I don't want to spoil anything, but the last, I think.
Yeah, Leo, don't do it.
No, episode 7.
I haven't seen any of it.
Gary, you need to. You would. Right. Yeah, you're gonna freaking love this.
Right. So the artist there is Imogen Chias, and this will be on sale. Everybody, I apologize, I didn't have the date on my script here. December 11th. So, if you like what you see, then check that out.
Yeah, and check out Agatha all along. I mean, the show, I was definitely having some reservations against it, but it turned out to be friggin' phenomenal.
Well, listen, Leo, there's nothing better than being surprised, proven wrong, whatever one. So the last one is something pretty great from someone we had on the show earlier this year. So earlier, DC revealed that they were going to be having an A-list cast of creators contributing stories for DC Horrors Presents, which the first issue dropped last month, just in time for Halloween. So people like Late Night of the Devils, David Desmalchian, Dracula creator, the Boulette brothers, these people are among the creators for this anthology series taking place within the DC universe. And the covers that we're showcasing there these are the 4 connecting covers by Harrow County's own Tyler Crook. Yeah, I mean, like, again, the first cover alone is pretty great, but I honestly feel like seeing them all together, like, I feel like this is the kind of thing you would see in one of, if Carrie had a house, this would be framed somewhere there.
Oh yeah, I plans for the future. Get a big print.
Mm-hmm.
You could just do the whole wall. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I can
It'd
tell.
be great.
Calm down, Carrie.
They're just so. I mean, so detailedly grotesque. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty wonderful.
Those
But if you
eyeballs.
deep breath there. So if you like what you saw, everybody, issue 1 has already came out in October, which most likely means issue 2 will be dropping sometime this month. So keep an eye out for it. Definitely keep an eye out on anything else Tyler's been putting out. He's a fantastic artist. We had a great time with him and Cullen Bond discussing their work on Harrow County and beyond. But yeah, just remember, everybody, just because Halloween is over doesn't mean the spooky stops.
And if you want to keep up with Tyler, he actually does a comic book week cool down type of show where he does a little sketching and just chats with people with his partner sometimes on there as well every Friday night on YouTube. Just kind of chills out and chats. Does a little bit of drawing.
As you can tell, Carrie watches the show.
I'm everywhere. I don't have time to do anything of my own anymore because I'm like, oh, I have to read this person's stuff. Oh, I have to watch this person's show. Oh, I have to read this person's thing.
Carrie, it's okay. You'll get your 15-minute nap in a few minutes, okay? Breathe. Okay. We're almost there. So I will say this, we don't have a lot of news, so let's just bang it out and go home. So, Leo, cue the news.
Punch it, Chewy.
Drew's News. Exciting tales, fresh comic views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains fly under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's Comic News.
Drew's Comic News.
Yeah, it's my news. I'm embracing it. So. All right, speaking of embracing it, I am also going to continue with more fun stuff. So, super pumped because next month, we've been talking about this. There's even more news about it, and I am super excited. Ultimate Universe year 1 year in, is the one shot where we're going to see essentially what will happen the next stage of the Ultimate Universe storytelling. So, Dennis Camp, Jonas Scarf, the upcoming Ultimate Wolverine creative team of Chris Condon and Alessandro Cappuccio. So basically what they've released here most recently are variant covers. So, everybody has essentially shown off their sweet freaking skills. So we're going to go over them one by one, and then we're also going to showcase some of the we're going to give you a little spoiler of some of the preview pages that we got there, which definitely kind of shows off a lot. And this Nick Fury is, of course, a little different than the Nick Fury that some of us would remember from the old Ultimate Universe, but still looks pretty badass. So the first one you have there, that's Raphael Albuquerque. Looks absolutely fantastic. He's a wonderful artist.
Did he take a left at Albuquerque?
Okay, can we not? You've been good the whole time. Okay,
You're so proud.
He is so fucking proud, and he really shouldn't be. that is the spoiler variant for Alessandro Cappuccio, but we already covered that Ultimate Wolverine is the latest Ultimate book to be coming out, so pretty fucking excited there. That is, hold on, that is that's the Ultimate X-Men, and I think that's DK Ruan is a cover artist, so beautiful, looks absolutely fantastic.
Which one was it?
I think
That's Marco Cicchetto.
Oh, that's Chichetto?
Yeah.
Really? Oh wow, I am so sorry, everybody. I feel ashamed. Thank you, Carrie, for correcting me. That's Marco Cicchetto. You're right. Thank you, Carrie. They're actually in order. So wonderful. This cover is gorgeous. This is again Peach Momoko. That's the Ultimate Spider-Man with the new black cat. Oh my gosh, that looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. That's Deke Roman. And that's the Ultimate Black Panther. So wonderful. That's Stefano Caselli. And that looks to be the Maker's Council. So those are the former heroes, villains running the show in the Ultimate Universe. And funny enough, the next one surprised the crap out of me. Frank Miller doing the Maker. And I actually kind of like that cover.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
he has a Virgin variant too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You have that. You have the yep, and then that's the Virgin variant one. And then of course we've already covered the connecting variant cover.
Just real quick, that does not look like Frank Miller.
I know, I was really impressed. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's because nobody's crouching or jumping or running. Oh my. And then of course the last one is the connecting variant cover by Jose Maria Casanovas. But we already covered that this was a thing that they were working on. This is like an ultimate homage to Jim Lee's X-Men issue 1. So still great. So
do I need to buy 41 copies of this one?
God, no, please don't. We don't need you to take a second mortgage out on your house. This book will be released December 11th. And look at these preview pages, which showcase a very different version of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the one that I particularly enjoy is you see this Nick Fury working or meeting directly with the Maker. So quite a different S.H.I.E.L.D. So very, very exciting. And of course, there are those preview pages for Ultimate Wolverine. And if you like what you see there, you'll get Ultimate Wolverine pretty soon. So, yep. And
yep.
That's it for me in news. So, Carrie, how are the birds?
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Birds, or are you calling Appa? Yip yip.
Yip, yip. Yip, yip.
Leo, just cue the next story.
Cluck, 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 cluck with a little red hen. Let's poogie in the barnyard. Why are you putting it on me?
Because it's your story.
Okay, but they need to see the pictures. All right. So we're going to be getting some fresh work from Tom King and Ryan Sook coming up on November 27th. Black Canary, the best of the best #1, will be hitting digital and LCSs. Dinah is going to be taking on Lady Shiva to once and for all prove who is the best of the best hand-to-hand fighter in the DC universe. She'll be getting some lessons along the way from Wildcat, Batman, and dear old mom. With the main cover, if we want to hop back real quick, the main cover there is done by Ryan Sook. The next is by Dan Hip. That one's kind of cute. I like the little thing. This one here is
Yeah,
adorable.
I just love that Batman is a honey jar.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Honey bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, and is Oliver Queen on our boots? Wait, that's adorable.
Indeed. The details.
Oh, and a
Well,
Batgirl move.
And Barbara's on the
Yeah.
Yep. This one has a little bit more anime feel. It's kind of cute too, but this is Chrissy Zulo.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, I like the birdies on that one. That one's just all around kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes you look really young though. And next we have David Nakayama.
That's
And
gorgeous.
yeah, that's really beautiful. And next, I had to break this up into a couple of pictures.
Yeah.
Otto Schmidt is doing a wraparound cover that potentially is showing every version of Black Canary that has graced the pages of a DC comic.
That's amazing.
We think they're all up there, and I did break it down into 4 different pictures of sets of 2. So it's like you get the top, back, bottom, back. So you guys can get a little bit of a closer look at those.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Look at that attention to detail and the research.
Yeah, and some of these only showed up for an issue or 2 with the different.
Or on a variant cover.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is
just gorgeous.
absolutely.
And then
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Then there's a couple interior pages. So getting ready for the fight, and
Wham.
I really like the interior art on this.
Oh,
Ryan did a really good job.
Ryan Sook is an absolutely amazing artist. I've always been like, man, please give him more work. His detail is phenomenal.
Yep. And everybody's watching it cheer on. Yay!
Very nice.
And that's all from me.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks, Gary. That looks great.
So we only have one story left.
When is that coming out?
November 27th.
November.
Oh
27th.
wow! This month, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well. Oh my, Leo.
Hold on. Where are my notes? Damn it. Give me a second. Where the hell is it? Come on. This is what happens when I drink.
Yep. Nobody told you to do that. Poor decisions.
I know. Yeah. Oh my. Oh my.
Leo Pond covering his story.
So sometimes a book comes along that's not just a story, it's a piece of history. So a personal journey or an inspiration all rolled into one. And this is totally what we're getting here with It Rhymes with Decay. It's a new graphic novel coming from Top Shelf Productions. And this is the same powerhouse group that brought us the bestseller They Called Us Enemy. So now they're taking us on another incredible journey through the life of the one and only George Takei. So it's a unique graphic novel, deeply personal look at Takei's life, from his childhood experiences to those nerve-wracking teenage years in the 50s, and when being different wasn't exactly celebrated. So the book tackles some pretty heavy themes, including Takei's experience with living in the closet during his rise to stardom. And the book culminates with what many consider a watershed moment of the LGBTQ plus history, Takei's decision to come out at age 68. Takei is once again working with the team behind They Called Us Enemy, working alongside talented artists like Harmony Becker, writer Stephen Scott, Justin Eisinger, and the amazing colorist Jose Villaruba. So together they're weaving this beautiful narrative that includes Takei finding love with his now husband Brad Altman and really finding his voice as one of the most prominent gay public figures of our time. So set your phasers to stunning and mark your calendars for June 2025, because this is definitely one we don't want to miss. Oh my.
That looks really good.
Having met him, he is such a character. So this is going to be such a great read.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love him. I've met him myself as well. And being a Star Trek fan, is just,
Well, of course.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. And yeah,
he's one of the best, man.
Yep.
Okay, so wait, Carrie, before we go, there's something else we have to do.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
So, folks,
is it another intervention?
No.
No.
You've got the Transformers under control. We didn't need to roll that one out.
Okay.
So folks, as we discussed earlier tonight, Kickstarters, crowdfunding, all of that is a major way that people are getting their comics out now. There are a lot of creators out there that need to get a little extra boost so that they can get started, do their heart project that might not be picked up immediately by a bigger company. And you can help do this. And not only do you help them by doing it, you get some really cool stuff when you do. I crowdfund all the time. I've got like just a couple things I have in the room with me right now. I have this pretty little necklace. It's Anubis from one of Carissa Grant's Worthy Chaos ones. Got my new samurai sword for my gnome Phillips here, and that came from Aaron Rabowski's Bone and Ice Kickstarter. But you get the books, you get digital books, you can get just all sorts of stuff. And so we are going to start telling you guys about some of the Kickstarters that are going on right now, that come from people that we support right here. Grim Reefer, like we were telling you before. We're going to call this the shut up and take our money kind of thing. So I was thinking, I don't know, we'll come with something like, go on, pick a project to fund, woo, woo, woo. Go on, take our money and run, just, we're going to show you, woo, woo, something like that. We'll figure something out for an intro later, but we're going to show you some of the stuff that we have going on right now that you might want to check out. And these will be added to our show notes, all the links to them. Punch is a new Keith Champagne. And I don't know if we can scroll down a little bit. New Pain Productions and Keith Champagne is going to be bringing us this
Punch number one. In the tradition of TMNT, genetically enhanced animals wage a secret war against cryptids. 52-page first issue by Champagne and Stanky.
Yeah, and
thank you, Leo.
So you have a bunch of cryptids, and this looks very much up your alley,
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, and we're on extremely great terms with this creator, Keith Champagne, and he was very nice to show us some advanced preview pages of this issue itself, or at least of some of the work in the series, and it is just, again, top-notch storytelling. Definitely, just he picks some fantastic creators. He's got such great ideas. Just super dope dude. And please give him money. Have him create more awesome projects.
Dude, I back Daybreak. I back Jump. Everything I've gotten from him has just been very fine quality production work. And he's so nice. He like, you got my stuff? I'll sign that for you. Just bring it over here. He's just a sweetheart.
Yeah. So these are some of the images, but we're not going to show you too much more because, again, if we show you everything, then you won't really want to buy the product. So we'll leave it that. Awesome. What other ones you have, Gary?
What other ones do I have? There is Bump. Bump is a horror anthology. From there are a bunch of different artists and stuff involved in this, but it is the fourth issue in this horror anthology series, and it's already been backed, so you can go on and add some more into this. This is a brand new thing, so we're getting used to figuring out exactly how much we need to learn about it. But there are, as you can see, Matt Garbutt, Peter Fairweather, couldn't read them all, but that's okay. Beverly Underwood, David Stoll, Jordi Perez, Todor Hristov. It's an award-winning series. They're going to keep putting them out this way. There's some just amazing artwork with this one as well. I don't think we're giving you, there's not going to be one of these that we're going to pull and be like, this kind of look like shit. No, we're picking out the ones that we really think that you might be interested in and that you should give a follow to. So if you're into the horror anthologies, check this one out. You still got, I think, over 20 days left to be able to go and...
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
17 days left to go. Okay.
17 late.
All right. I've got this list here. Okay, this next one I think looks really, really fun. Pots and Panels. And this is, they got a bunch of comic book creators together to make food related comics, and then they also put in their own recipes as well. And so
cool.
I think I've pledged for every single one of these that we're putting out.
Nice.
But I'm like, so I'm getting you get like all of these different stories, and then you get recipes by the creators. And look, if you scroll slowly down the list of people who are involved in this, and that's not all of them, they give you some of those people that are in it.
Let me quick for you, Carrie. So Tim Seeley, Stephen Grant, Phil Hester, Andy Kuhn, Steve Niles, Ron Mars, Hillary Barda, Ellie Eagleton, Jason Mikalski, Chuck Satterley, Nicole DeAndrea, Travis Gitt. Oh wow, it keeps on going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah, it's a 440-page behemoth.
Yeah, and you can get it over 60 recipes. So all of these, you get recipes from their favorite people. I went with the soft cover for mine, but I gotta get the soft cover in the digital version.
Let's look at that art.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and they have all these in the things they call them appetizers, so you can go in and get little previews as you're reading through, and those are their appetizers for you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's 50 along with the recipes. It's 50 stories.
That's all.
Yeah,
funness,
and all different styles, as you can see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping my mom really, really enjoys cookbooks, and that's one of the only things that she'll read. So I'm like, maybe if I get her a cookbook with comics, I can get her to read the comics involved in it. Oh no.
There you go. All right, what else do you can carry?
We'll give it a try. All right, so next up we have Cullen Bunn's Triple Threat of Terror. Okay. So 22 days left to go on this one, and we're getting 3 new stories that he has put out. I'm pretty sure this is going to get funded. It's out. He just released stuff about it in his Nightmare Fuel. There, as you can see, that's his newsletter. But these are just 3 brand new tales that he's brought out, and it's Cullen Bunn. What more could you want?
Boom.
Everything is
sold.
Yeah. Look. Oh, it's pretty. It's got Cullen. It's got death. It's got a dead bunny.
Leo,
I'm horrible about all this. But
yeah, Leo, do you just imagine that when Carrie's having a conversation with the creator, they just do I have a Kickstarter, and she's just, shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how life works for me. I'm like talking to you, hey, you got a Kickstarter? What? I'll check that out.
Can
Yeah,
I get a link? Like,
do it.
what do you know? What you sell
Will
me?
you sign it? Will you,
Yeah.
it's okay. This is actually the one though. This is cool. If you go over to the side, where you can back it,
It won't let me
yeah.
scroll.
Oh,
Learn about the account.
No. No.
it should be okay. Well, all right. One of the things you can do though for this one, I'm pretty sure it's this one. I'll pull it up on my end so I can check.
Oh, here we go.
Manage my pledge.
I need to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Look at the blood-soaked bundle. All right. If you go, you can get them all, but there's the print bundle, autograph bundle, and then there's the blood-soaked bundle. All right. And he is going through and individually blood printing them. And
That's
then
cool.
signing them off. So I'm like, I get comic books that will be individually bloodied up by Cullen Bunn. So I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, that's Carrie's. I'm gonna frame this. You know.
Yeah. He's just gonna be autographing them and then splattering them with blood, and then yeah.
Carrie, no, you cannot clone Cullen Bunn.
You mean
So
so instead of Cullen Bun, it's cloning bun?
Yeah. Well, okay, here's a question, Drew. Would she clone him or do a incantation?
It doesn't matter. There'd still be two of them. Like literally, I just see her just frolicking.
Like literally, I'm sitting here like, okay. I actually seriously have all of my shit out right now. So little bottles of, yeah. I could just have a little Cullen Golem. How is that? If I just make a little Cullen Golem, he just like hangs out and sits down, and like he could be the gnome size. I could give him a sword and he could hang out.
Yeah,
and
no, Carrie,
on the
you call
show.
that a column. You know,
Column. Oh.
Yeah, column. Yeah.
Column.
Yeah.
Okay. That
there
works.
You go. All right. Okay. So Carrie, funded. What else do you got?
Next, we're gonna hop back over and help Dean again. Chest face that we were just talking about before.
Yeah. And looks like
he got it pledged.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure if you didn't catch last week's show, check it out. We talked about Dean all about chest face, and it looks great. I love the way he does his rewards. So you can choose like the Joker, the comic, the prop, the stuff like that. The knee slap. I won't tell you which one I am, but I pledge that one too. And he's doing a fun thing where if you send in pictures, if you draw your pictures of him, there's like a cardboard thing that he'll be sending out to people that he draws back. So I'm not sure exactly how it works because I can't draw. And I was like, I could draw. I was like, oh, I wonder what it looks like. And then they're like, oh, here are the people who've contributed. And they're all like real artists. So I'm like, yeah, I won't send in my stick figure little pencil drawing of chest face. But that one's going to be fun. And this is the other one he was telling us about that is on Backer Kit is the next one coming up. It's called Lights Out. And it is a really interesting concept. What they did was they took old horror radio shows and they remastered them, put them on these beautiful vinyl records, and then also have included a graphic novel anthology of horror stories. And he's one of the people that happens to be when you get into the graphic novel part. But these are all the different old radio programs that you get to listen to. And then, cool. Yeah, I just, when I saw this, it was just like, oh my goodness,
Okay. Nice.
this is
That's
some,
fucking cool.
yeah, it's totally worth putting in for it. As you can, yeah, cloth wrapped, thick. But so here's the creators going down.
Yeah, Leanne Creechy or Creechik, Justin Jordan, John Bivens, Dean Haspiel, Kevin Grevix, Zirk Xavier, and Madeline Rosca, Warren Ellis, Cody Chamberlain, and I think that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I thought that was just looking pretty badass. So
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I was just like, well, yeah, I'm going to be getting that too. I'm not going to have like electricity or anything sometime soon. You guys are going to be like, I'm going to be out in the parking lot plugged into the back wall of somebody's apartment building, like from my phone doing the podcast with you. But I'll have stuff. I'll have stuff, man.
Cool.
Is that all I need? I just need
Are-
the stuff.
Are there any others, Carrie?
Yes, there are 3 more we have. More Patras. We've already had Aaron Rablowski on before, and he is also who the sword came from, with his Ice and Bone. And this is one of his horror stories that's coming out, and I had looked at the first one, and it's kind of a weird story going on about an exorcism. So I've looked it over. I thought it was great. It's like an exorcism gone awry. Please get involved and stuff. And I don't really want to blow any more of the story for, what he has going, but he's going to have a lot of different merch and stuff going with this. He's another one who he and Carissa both share stuff back and forth a lot of each other's. So they've started picking up and like, oh, this merch works. This merch doesn't work, So his are another where you get a lot of, additional stuff. You can, and all the add-ons and catch up things and all stuff like that. This next one is one that you brought up to me, Drew. This is your friends. Muppets Got Talent.
Yes. So this is a friend of mine, my friend Kyle Adams. This is his project. It's again also already funded. So hey, listen, throw them some more money. Why don't you? So this is a parody of the Muppet Show. Like basically think of like, yeah. So basically it's think like America's Got Talent, but with a twist, but it's with the Muppets. And it's got an interesting feel to it. Definitely a little bit more of a horror vibe, but again, being a Muppets fan, I thoroughly loved it, and it's just such a great idea. And like I said, I met Kyle on the convention circuit. We're both autograph seekers, and when he told me about this, I was like, "Oh, this sounds great. I gotta share it with our audience and just give you more money." And he was like, "Thanks, man." I'm like, "Good." But yes, so check this out. I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest at trying to sell it. Carrie was going through that, but yes.
I just
we will
wanted
get
to
better
share-
at this segment.
I just wanted to share. I mean, you say, just give them more money. You are funding them, even though they're already funded. This one in particular, you do get some excellent perks with it.
Yes.
And it's not just giving them money. You get stuff in return. You get like digital copies of the comics, or you get actual copies, autograph copies.
Yeah.
It's oh,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
Beatles speaker. Oh, I can't get into it. Oh, hold on.
Speaker juice.
Yeah.
I can't get a larger picture of it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you guys to find that one. But yes, so that one is one among ours that's already been funded. So if you like what you saw, throw them more money, and we'll get more Muppets.
Cool beans.
All right,
And
Carrie.
And
last one.
last one on the list tonight. This one is actually, I'm bringing this up for the younger ones. This is going to be going live on November 19th. And Strange Ranger is a supernatural adventure comic made more for kind of the littles, not itty bitty littles, and it should be fun for adults as well. But there's going to be supernatural stuff going on with park rangers and animal friends and cryptids and stuff running around. And it looks like it's going to be a really fun story. So
Yeah,
this one is, yeah, it looks super cute. So that's one that we have up. And there will be others that we are going to be bringing you. We'll keep letting you know until something's closed. With each show, we'll just, if we've already brought it up, we might not bring it up every time. Unless there's like a, it just needs this little bit, push more, kind of thing. But we'll keep a list of them going up and get ready for more. And if you have a Kickstarter that you would like us to talk about, let us know.
Absolutely.
Subscribe, follow us, friend us, do those things and let us know. And we will help you out because we love you.
Indeed. Nicely done, Carrie.
Yep.
And on that note, the show is now coming to an end. So Leo, take us home.
Yep. We'll wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. For me, you know how to find me. Just Google me. There's a bunch of stuff in the show notes. More importantly, we're really pushing our YouTube. We're about to hit 700 subscribers, pushing out tons of content. So head on over to our YouTube page. This is in the show notes. And also, I believe Justin just did a new article on our website. So definitely go to our website there. We're going to be trying to do more of that recently, but are coming soon. Sorry. It's a friend of mine, Eric, should have never gave me this. Holy crap. It's a
Ever. Good.
yeah, yep. But anyway, yeah, head on over to our YouTube, subscribe, like, you know the deal. Go do it. Please. It'd mean a lot to us.
He did ask, please.
Yes.
All right.
Carrie.
You should down that face. He's so cute. Even when he speaks in Klingon, he's just adorable. You can't make Leo sad.
Stop it.
See? Look. We need a screen grab of that. So yeah, if you want to find me, go look there and on Facebook. And if you see a crow, that's me. You can find my author page there. You can find stuff that I do as splash pages. You can find stuff that I do with the Owlite Network. You'll find me usually on Sunday and Mondays on there. Mondays are our Tomb of the Terrible, where we watch horrible movies and review them for you. This week we'll be watching Amityville Scarecrow. We also have Drew with us in spirit, telling you to get out through this season, because we are currently doing an entire season of Amityville ripoffs because I am a bitch and I made everybody go through it with me. So yeah. Find me, talk to me. I'll say hi. Maybe I won't. I might troll you a little bit. I don't know. Just depends on the day. And we got somebody else here. We got Drew Mollo. Drew.
I really want to go.
Drew Mollo. Drew.
Cash Cab really wants to know. Get out. Stop it. Stop. We're done. All right. Listen, we should never have introduced alcohol to these people. Hey, everybody.
I'm sober.
Thank you so much. And my point is rested. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We're always glad to have you all here on Tuesday. If you need to talk to me, Drew Mollo on Facebook, Ghost Fisherman 1984 on Instagram. I'm working on a bunch of projects everywhere and everything. I'm generally busy, and just like our guest, I'm tired. So if it takes a minute to get back to you, I'm sorry, but I promise you I will eventually. Also, if you enjoyed what you saw here, subscribe to our channel and check in next week when we have Eisner winning writer Kelly Thompson, fresh off of her work from Absolute Wonder Woman, is going to be stopping by. We're going to get to chat with her about a ton of her work, Marvel, DC, all that stuff. It's going to be wonderful. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. With that, catch you later. Bye.
Bye, buddy. Get out. Get us out. Get us out of here.
I know. I hit the
We
button.
need to go.
The
Did you hit the button?
the button didn't work.
Did you put the
Well,
button?
you